Oh no.
What was that?
Nothing. Let's go and see the bedrooms.
Have you ever wondered what happens when even the best parents have their not-so-perfect moments? In the world of Bluey, Bandit and Chilli Heeler are often celebrated as parenting role models, but there's one episode that shows them at their absolute worst. And stay with me until the end, because I'll be revealing the most shocking scene that the show's creators almost didn't include.
Hello.
Hi. I'd like to make a booking, please.
Name?
Romeo.
Let's start by looking at the subtle hints the show has been dropping throughout various episodes. In Mini Bluey, we see the first cracks in the perfect parent facade. Chilli openly shows favoritism, telling Bluey off for being messy while praising Bingo. Even Bandit joins in with a shocking admission. My life would be a lot easier if you were both the same.
My life would be a lot easier if you were both the same.
And then the gut punch. Double bingo? I could definitely get used to that. The pattern continues in dance mode, where we witness Bandit teaching some questionable life lessons. He eats Bingo's last bite without asking, then tries to buy his way out of facing consequences. I'm going to buy your last dance mode off you, he says.
I'm gonna buy your last dance mode off you.
Essentially teaching his daughter that money can erase responsibility. Watch how Bandit's competitive streak turns toxic in Obstacle Course. Unable to handle losing to his own children, he resorts to outright cheating. Is this really the behavior we expect from a role model parent? Let's take a closer look at some of their most questionable parenting decisions. In Omelette, we witness Chilli's patience wear dangerously thin as she essentially banishes little Bingo from the kitchen, leaving emotional wounds that linger throughout the episode. Rather than turning this into a teaching moment, she lets her frustration take control, crushing her daughter's eager spirit. The pattern continues in Library, where both parents fail to address the brewing conflict between their daughters and their cousin Muffin. Instead of stepping in to guide the children through their disagreement, they take the path of least resistance, telling their girls to simply let Muffin have her way. This passive approach to conflict resolution does nothing to help their children develop crucial social skills. Even their decision-making comes into question during Sleepover, where they allow an overtired Muffin to stay up far too late, watching her become increasingly delirious rather than enforcing reasonable boundaries. The episode showcases how their desire to be the fun parents sometimes overshadows their responsibility to make healthy choices for their children. Perhaps most telling is their inconsistent approach to discipline in Burger Shop. While Bandit attempts a new parenting method by letting the girls make their own choices about bedtime, he clearly loses control of the situation when Chilli finally steps in to restore order. Instead of supporting her decision, Bandit becomes upset that she didn't trust his approach, creating tension that their children shouldn't have to witness. The cracks in their parenting facade grow wider. In Promises, we see Bandit carelessly making promises he can't keep, teaching his daughters that words don't need to mean anything. The episode reveals a troubling pattern. Bandit says whatever he needs to just to get people to stop talking, showing a disturbing disregard for trust and integrity. Even Chilli isn't immune to parenting failures. In Pizza Girls, both parents completely check out, becoming so engrossed in admiring Stripe's new car that they forget to supervise their children during potentially dangerous play. This negligence isn't just disappointing, it's potentially dangerous. The mask slips further in Omelette, where we see Chilli lose her patience with Bingo in a way that leaves viewers uncomfortable. Instead of teaching and guiding her younger daughter, she essentially dismisses her from the kitchen, leaving emotional wounds that the episode never quite heals. But nothing prepared viewers for the episode that would reveal just how bad these supposedly perfect parents could be. In Whale Watching, we find Bandit and Chilli in a state we've never seen before, completely incapacitated on the couch, clearly suffering from the aftermath of what appears to be a very adult night out. As the episode unfolds, we witness a series of shocking moments that completely shatter the healer's perfect parent image. Bandit and Chilli lie listlessly on the couch, physically unable to engage with their children's attempts to play. Chilli's strange moaning sounds fill the room, while Bandit complains about every little noise. Perhaps most troubling is when they resort to sending little Bingo to fetch them corn chips and soda, as they can barely summon the energy to move. The usually energetic and engaged parents are reduced to basic survival mode, unable to fulfill even their most fundamental parenting duties. This isn't just bad parenting, it's a complete abandonment of their usual responsible personas. The episode shows them at their absolute lowest, unable to even pretend to be the perfect parents we've come to expect. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, or you might become like Bandit and Chilli. But here's where things get interesting. While these moments might seem like evidence that Bandit and Chilli are bad parents, they actually reveal something far more important. They're human parents. Even in their worst state, watch what happens in whale watching. Despite feeling terrible, Chilli still tries to engage with the girls. Bandit, through his discomfort, attempts to participate in their games. Yes, they're failing miserably, but they're still trying. This pattern of imperfect but persistent effort runs through all their supposed failures. When we look closer at Mini Bluey, we see their apparent favoritism stems not from malice, but from the raw exhaustion that every parent occasionally faces. Similarly, in dance mode, Bandit's misguided attempt at bribery, while certainly not his finest parenting moment, comes from a genuine desire to make things right with his daughter. Perhaps most tellingly, his overly competitive behavior in Obstacle Course, though inappropriate, actually reveals how deeply he engages with his children's world. He's not just going through the motions, he's fully invested in their play, even if that investment sometimes leads him astray. What these bad parent moments actually teach us is something profound about the nature of parenting itself. Bandit and Chilli aren't perfect, they're real. They make mistakes, they lose their temper, they say the wrong thing, they occasionally overindulge and pay the price. But what makes them good parents isn't their perfection, it's their persistence. Looking closely at each episode where they seemingly fail reveals a deeper truth about their parenting journey. What starts as troubling favoritism ultimately transforms into beautiful moments where they learn to celebrate each child's unique qualities. Their wrong choices aren't swept under the rug. Instead, they face the consequences and grow from them. Perhaps most telling is their behavior in whale watching. Even in their worst state, barely able to lift their heads from the couch, they still make genuine attempts to be present and engaged with their children. These moments of struggle and recovery paint a portrait not of perfect parents, but of deeply human ones. This isn't a show about perfect parents. It's a show about real parents trying their best, sometimes failing, but always getting back up to try again. The genius of Bluey isn't in showing us perfect parents, it's in showing us real ones. When Bandit and Chilli turn bad, they're actually teaching us one of the show's most valuable lessons. Perfection isn't the goal of parenting, presence is. Think about what this really means for Bandit and Chilli as parents. When they mess up, they don't run from their mistakes. They stay present and face the consequences head on. Though it might take them time to process and acknowledge their errors, they eventually own up to their shortcomings and work to make things right. Most importantly, even during their absolute worst moments, when they're struggling just to stay awake on the couch, they still find ways to show up for their kids. This persistent presence, even in imperfection, is what truly defines their parenting. The episode where Bandit and Chilli turn bad isn't really about them being bad parents at all. It's about showing us that good parenting isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being real, and most importantly, being willing to keep trying even when we fail. Maybe that's why this show resonates so deeply with parents around the world, because in Bandit and Chilli's imperfections, we see our own struggles reflected back at us. And in their persistent efforts to do better, we find hope for ourselves. What do you think about this different side of Bandit and Chilli? Have you noticed these moments in the show before? Share your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you're a parent who's ever had your own whale-watching moments. And do watch our video about the episode of Bluey's Dark Secret.